Hey guys, welcome back to TBS Skylab. So hopefully this is going to be the last in our series on algorithms. So well done if you've made it this far. And this one's not super important. I just want to point out to people that you can do the bubble sort in different kind of ways. So at the moment we're using this while, and then for, and then if. So with this way, if at any point we found out that we're already in order, then we're going to stop. However, we've seen it in the books quite a bit that they sometimes don't use a while. And what they instead use is a count controlled loop here. So you could have for, if. Now, that's maybe even simpler to understand, which is quite good. But the problem is it means it's always going to run roughly the same amount of times, even if the array is already sorted. So let's think about that. So for this one, I'm going to get rid of all this for and swapped here. Sorry, while and swapped. And I'm going to change it to a count controlled loop. Oh, for goodness sake. Count controlled loop. So I'm going to say for. Now be careful not to use the same variable name. So I can say for y in range 0 to 5, because I want to do it for the number of items in my array. Now, as we said before, when we go through a bubble sort, the first time we go through, we know that this number is correct. That's the only one we know for certain. And again, if you're not sure about this, go and watch Doug Lloyd on CS50, and he'll take you through the steps. He's brilliant. So the next one, next time we do the for loop here, we know that this one's in order. The third time we do it, we know that these three are in order. The fourth time we do it, we know that these are in order. And the final time, we know that these are in order. Okay, so that's basically only ever the last number is in order, but the more times we do it, we know which of them are correct. So instead of doing that swapped bit, and I could get rid of that swapped variable here, and I could get rid of that here, so maybe it's a little bit easier to understand in some ways, but really, this should have the same effect. Yay, success. And that's fine. So different ways to skin a cat, as we say in English, because we're psychopaths. That's actually to do with shipping, but still. There's different ways that you could do stuff, is what we're trying to say. But there's efficiency questions, and this is going beyond, I guess, what's in the course. And we have to think about what's the best way to do stuff, not just how to do stuff. So if we had a while loop here, let's say we change these numbers. Let's say, and I'm going to get rid of these extra bits I've got up here. Let's say instead of having this, okay, this one here works well. Let's say I had cards equals 1, 5, 10, 11, 4. That's not great. Let's put the 4 here. Okay, so in order to put these in order, I would have to do one for loop. Yeah, because I only have to switch around these two numbers, and that would happen the first time. However, if I did it this way, I would still repeat 5 times 4 times. Yeah, so I would still, these would multiply each other, and I'd repeat a lot more times than was necessary. Whereas with a while loop, once it's sorted, I only need one more pass. I would only have to do 8 times? So 2 times 4 passes of the loop. And so using a while loop actually makes things a bit more efficient, depending on the situation. And again, this is probably a bit outside the course, but it's definitely something you should be thinking about if you're moving on to A-level. Now, there's another enhancement that I've never seen inside of the exams. So again, probably a little bit beyond the course, but again, just for those people who are really starting it into this kind of stuff, Now let me just save a copy of that because I want to give it to my kids as a simple example. Done. Okay, so if I roll back and I went back to using my while loop, so if I say swapped equals true and get rid of this and I say while swapped and then here I need to say swapped equals true. Oh, and I need another swapped equals false. And remember, you need to reset. You need to, every time you loop, you need to reset swapped to false because otherwise it's just going to go on forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. So you only want to stop once you've not swapped, and you only know you've not swapped if you haven't swapped anything. So let me just check that's working in case I made any stupid mistakes. Yay! Now again, we can improve the efficiency even better. So we've said that this one is always sorted. So we don't actually have to check that one. And the next time we don't have to check those ones, and the next time we don't have to check that one. So let's say instead we made a little variable here and we called it, what could we call this number here? Unsorted? Unsorted. Okay, and I'm going to set that one to 4. Yeah, so instead of that, I'm going to say unsorted. Now, every time I finish the for loop, I can actually reduce that number by 1. Because we know that the end value becomes irrelevant. Now, fingers crossed, I'm not going to embarrass myself here, but I think... Oh, that's not worked. Why has it not worked? Oops, because I've not put it in the right place because I'm not very smart. Okay, so I want it to happen after the for loop, not inside the for loop. That was very silly. Let's try again. Yay! Okay, so again, this should slightly improve the efficiency of my algorithm because each time I'm going to reduce it by 1 because I know the final value is already sorted. So again, with this number of numbers, that's not important, but you've got to remember we could be trying to sort tens of thousands of elements, and so anything that can improve our efficiency is going to make things a little bit better. Okay, so let's just throw in some numbers here. 100. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I need to learn to use a touchpad properly. So cards, 100, 500, 70, 90, 10, 2, and 6. Okay, so again, now that we've got this bigger number, we just need to count them. 1, 2, again, I can just do the length of the cards. And again, this one, yeah, so that again, we can't really use this in GCSE, I don't think, but let's see. And then it should, oops, index out range, cards +1. Oh, I need to do -1. This is why writing in exams is hard. But you can see that we've managed to put it into the right order by following that rule. And it should be a slightly more efficient version than what we had before. Hopefully I've not confused people with this. I just wanted to give a little bit of an extension for those of you who were thinking of taking this on to A-levels or whatnot. Alrighty, thank you very much. Bye-bye.